Welcome back. I have a new book to review today. Today we're going to be reviewing the book called Inkheart. This book is by Cornelia Funke. Cornelia Funke, according to the blurb in the back, lives in Germany. So I assume that the book was written in German and that it was translated from German by Anthea Bell. So, this actually isn't the first book that I have read that's been translated from German. It's actually the second book that I recall, anyway. I'm trying to think. The first book that I know that was translated from German is The Never-Ending Story. Never-Ending Story is a book that was translated from German, made into a movie several years ago. Trust me, the book's better. Not that the movie's bad. I loved the movie as a kid, and even now there's things to enjoy about the movie. So definitely go both. One of the things that I found interesting about The Never-Ending Story, on a side tangent here, was that the book goes much, much further than the movie does. Basically, you're only about halfway through with the book at the end of the movie. And then they made two direct-to VHS at the time sequels to The Never-Ending Story. Different actor, actually. The first one died. Anyway, back to books. So, I read Inkheart by Cornelia Funke. Haven't actually seen the movie. I think the movie the movie got me interested in looking for the book and reading the book. So when I saw it, I bought it. Again, thrift store, great place to find books. So anyway, I bought and read the book eventually. I have a huge backlog of books that I'm working through. So, what is the general plot? Well, general plot is that Mo and Maggie. Mo is Maggie's father. They live together. She's never really known her mother. They live together, and Mo repairs books. He is a bookbinder. He gets called in on occasions when old books need repair, and he goes in and puts new covers on them. I'm not talking, just like your paperback is falling apart, you get a new cover. No, he's like a book restorer. He goes in and makes sure that these books will last, and goes into prestigious libraries and things. So when the book opens, it doesn't really tell you where they're living. I assume somewhere in Germany, but who knows. It does end up taking place, most of the action in the book takes place in Italy. So Dustfinger shows up one day, and Mo is not happy that Dustfinger is there. And invites him in, but keeps Maggie away, keeps Maggie out of it. And they end up leaving to go visit Maggie's aunt Eleanor. Actually, it's great aunt, because it's Maggie's mother's aunt, Aunt Eleanor. And Aunt Eleanor is a book collector. She has a house full of books and her most prized possessions, etc., etc. But when they leave their house to go visit Eleanor, Maggie finds that her father takes something with them. It's a book that she's never seen before, and her father has never really said anything about it. It's always been hidden. She never even knew about it until they started going. Turns out this book is called Inkheart. And you find out later, because various things happen, that Mo has the power to, when he reads a book, he reads it so well that people can picture so vividly in their minds that his words create magic, and the characters and things from the story jump out of the pages and they come to life. And Dustfinger is actually a character from the book Inkheart. And he was read into existence several years ago when Maggie was very little. She's 12 years old now. But when Maggie was very young, Maggie's father was reading Inkheart one day, and out popped Dustfinger. At the same time, out popped Capricorn and Basta. Capricorn being the villain of the piece, and Basta his main henchman. So he read out kind of a scoundrel from the book, not really a hero, not really, scoundrel is a good word for him. He reads out Dustfinger, but there's a drawback to Moe's power, and that's why Moe has never read aloud to Maggie that she can recall. The thing is that when he reads from the book, somebody from the real world or something from the real world has to then go into the book. So Basta, Capricorn, and Dustfinger show up, and that's when Maggie's mother disappears, along with their two cats. So they were reading together. These guys show up, and so Capricorn has since then been trying to track down Moe. He wants Moe to read more books and read out more of the characters and things in these books. So he's been doing everything he can to find Moe so that he can get his hands on Moe's power. Dustfinger, on the other hand, wants nothing more than to get back into the book. And the thing is that Dustfinger has shown up here and there throughout these intervening years, trying to get Moe to read him back into the book. And no matter what Moe has done, nothing has happened. He has his power, but he can't control it. So they go and they try to obviously capture Moe and his daughter and everybody else involved so that Moe can then do Capricorn's bidding by reading more people and more things to him from these books. From whatever book. It doesn't have to be a specific book. So I kind of had mixed feelings about this book. It's another one where I read it and it was interesting, but I didn't really like the book. And I can't really put my finger on that was the thing that made me not like the book. It was interesting that Moe could read people out of books, people and things, not just people. At one point, he does get captured by Capricorn, and Capricorn forces him to read from Treasure Island. And he reads the description of the treasure from Treasure Island, and suddenly gold and jewels and things just start falling down from the sky and just piling up around him as he's reading. And one of Capricorn's men disappears. Presumably disappears into Treasure Island. So there's that, the dynamic between Dustfinger and Moe. I felt for Dustfinger in the fact that he was in this setting that was not his world. He didn't really understand how to fit in, how to be in this world, because he was so far from his own, and our world is so different from his own. But at the same time, Dustfinger really wasn't a sympathetic character in that sense. Maggie was much more of a sympathetic character, but I don't know that I really identified with her. She just found out why her mother vanished, why she's never seen her since she was very small. She thought that she had died. Her mother's just missing. And there's all this upheaval and things around her that was going on because Capricorn wanted something from Maggie's father. I did like the focus, the emphasis on books, and the fact that Maggie and Mo and Eleanor, and even Capricorn to some extent, that they really showed that they cherished books. Capricorn cared for books for the fact of the power that they could grant him, because Mo could read things out of the books to him. But he still realized that they were important. Mo, obviously, his whole thing was books. He was a book restorer. And so books were very important to him. But yeah, like I said, I can't put my finger on exactly what it was about the book that just didn't click with me. Maggie, the characters, the characterization of the characters in Inkheart, to me was fine. I got a sense of who they were. I got a sense of what they felt was important, what their motivations were. But at the same time, I didn't feel that the book really clicked with me. I don't know. There's 2 more books in the series. I will probably read them. But I hope that that this is going to be. There's another series that I read. I've read 3 of the books in the series. The first book, I read it. I didn't really like it. But the second 2 books in the series were very excellent. I'm trying to remember. It was by John. I have it here, actually. Let's see. If you're wondering about an app to keep track of your books, there's a very awesome app called Book Catalog, and all my books I have in Book Catalog. Let's see. Joseph Delaney. It's The Last Apprentice. The first book in the series is Revenge of the Witch. It was actually made into a movie recently with Jeff Bridges. Recently, in the past 5 years or so, possibly more. I'd have to check. But I didn't really like Revenge of the Witch. Curse of the Bane and Night of the Soul Stealer, the next 2 books in the series, much better than the first one. So it could be that Ink Spell and Ink Death, which are the next 2 in the series, are much better than Inkheart. I'm hoping that is the case. So, yeah. So if you have any questions about Inkheart, let me know. Like and subscribe to get more of these videos. I will be putting them online as I go along. Possibly next. No, not the next video. Possibly the video after next. So 2 videos from now, I will be reviewing the book The Island of the Day Before by Umberto Eco. So far I'm about halfway through the book. It's excellent. I really enjoy it. But with that, have a good evening.